I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode, I believe, is very relatable and timely. It's for you if you've ever found yourself stuck in your own thoughts, replaying a conversation, second guessing a decision, or trying to mentally solve something for the 100th time. We're talking about overthinking and how it doesn't lead us closer to peace or clarity, which is our hope, but often it pulls us farther away from trusting God and His good plan for your life. It's time to change that. Let's dive in. Hey there. Are you a Christian woman who's ready to strengthen your faith and stop the madness in your mind? The worry, doubt, anxiety. Do you want something more for your life but are not sure where to even begin? You've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Kristin Campbell. I'm excited that you're here as we journey together to discover mindset renewal and empowered faith for the Christian woman. Have you ever laid awake at night, your brain spinning over something small that maybe turned into something huge, or maybe it only did so in your imagination? It could be a decision, a relationship, something you said or didn't say. And you lay there and you replay this over and over, changing just tiny little variables each time, but none of the scenarios end up quite right. Overthinking feels like control. It tricks us into believing that if we just think it through enough, we'll finally feel at peace. But you know what I found? Because I'm guilty of this bad habit, overthinking rarely brings peace. It brings exhaustion, it brings confusion, and it often leads to fear-based living, but peace, it does not bring. Overthinking is fear in disguise. It's the mental habit of trying to figure things out apart from God. It's rehearsing scenarios, what ifs, and contingencies, hoping we'll avoid pain or make the perfect choice. Now, I have an excellent podcast discussing the dangers of what if thinking, which I encourage you to revisit and listen to, because this fear-based overthinking removes our trust in the Lord's goodness and His sovereignty. And here's what James 1:8 says: a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Overthinking makes us double-minded. It keeps us stuck in this analysis paralysis. It delays obedience. It invites confusion where God wants to bring clarity. Earlier in James 1, in verse 5, it tells us, if any of you lacks wisdom to guide him through a decision or circumstance, he is to ask of our benevolent God, who gives to everyone generously and without rebuke or blame, and it will be given to him. Yet we need to believe that. We need to stand firm in that, not going back and forth with overthinking. See, overthinking doesn't just wear us out mentally, it costs us emotionally and spiritually. We miss the present moment. We stop hearing the still small voice of God amidst the noise of the what ifs and our contingencies. And we begin to trust our insights, our understanding more than God's. And sometimes we spiritualize it, right? I'm just trying to be wise. I just want to make sure this is God's will. But when we're honest, we're often trying to avoid discomfort or fearing potential failure. And this is where decision fatigue may creep in. Not because we're making too many decisions, but because we're trying to think our way to our picture of peace. instead of trusting that God has already taken care of the situation. So, what's the alternative? Do we stop thinking? I mean, that's not realistic. No, but we shift to think with God, to choose trust over our own understanding. Like Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Did you catch that? Don't lean on your own understanding. That means even if you don't feel clear, you can still walk forward in trust. Feelings are not facts. I want you to think about Peter. Okay. Walking on the water was Peter's idea. Keep that in mind. Peter wanted to do this. When Jesus agreed and invited him out of the boat, Peter didn't ask for a step-by-step plan or demand to understand the physics behind the water being able to now hold him. He walked on the water because he trusted the voice that called him. He only began to sink when he shifted that focus to what was around him, when he began to overthink what was happening. And we all do it. We may start with trust, but we get caught up in that trap of overthinking and we sink where we should be walking. So let's get practical for a minute. Because if you're caught in overthinking, here are a few steps that you can take. Number one, pause. This is like a go-to number one. Pause before you keep sinking. Stop and breathe. Physically slow yourself down. Sometimes this short pause just really helps interrupt that loop. And I've taught this before, but a simple trick is to press your thumb and pointer finger together as a cue. Pause. Focus on your breath. Recenter yourself back onto the Lord. And then pray. Talk to God about what you're turning over in your mind. Ask, Lord, am I trying to solve this without you? And ask him to speak. Sit in the silence with him. Listen. He may have already told you what you're to do, but sometimes something holds you back. Ask him to reveal that thing. Name the fear. See, overthinking is usually driven by fear. What are you afraid will happen? Are you paralyzed by the thought of making the wrong choice or losing control? Can I assure you, God is an amazing course corrector. He is in control of every detail of our lives when we surrender ourselves to him. Do you know who your God is? Because you're going to need to speak that truth out. Have a go-to list of scriptures or affirmations that remind you of who God is and who you are in him. Here's a couple examples. God is not the author of confusion. That's 1 Corinthians 14:33. So if there is confusion going on, that's not the story God wrote. I am not alone in this. Hebrews 13:5. I trust God more than I trust my thoughts. Proverbs 3:5. And once you get solid on who God is and who you are, then you can begin to move in faith. And you don't have to feel 100% certain to take that next step. Feelings are fickle. Peace often comes after obedience, not before it. Trust is in action. There's this saying, God can't steer a parked car, meaning we need to step out and trust, that faith in action. Put the car in drive and continually lean in to the Lord as he guides us. Even if we don't understand the how, we trust the one who is calling us. Friend, overthinking will keep you stuck in circles. I know, but God wants to lead you forward. He doesn't expect you to figure it all out. We only know in part here on earth, but He knows the beginning from the end and all the in-betweens. Jesus tells us throughout the Gospels to follow Him, not figure it out. Follow. That's His invitation. So today, if you're feeling uncertain, if your thoughts are loud, if the options are overwhelming, pause, pray, and move in trust. You're not alone in this. He is with you. He's faithful to lead you. If this episode encouraged you, will you consider sharing it with a friend? And if you're looking to go deeper in overcoming your overthinking, I have a free reflection guide for you to download on my website. It will help you to obtain victory in this area. Remember, you don't need all the answers to walk in trust. One step of faith is all it takes. Be blessed. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope you walked away a little stronger in your faith and freer in your mind. You are so loved. If you like this episode, share it with a friend. Leave your ratings and reviews, and engage with me on social media. I'd love to hear from you.